Hello everyone, my name is Dhanda Sutar and now we are going to see about the topic pledge as per Indian Contract Act 1872. In this video, we are going to see the contents like introduction of a pledge, essential requirement for pledge, rights of a pledger, duties of a pledge and duties of a pledger. Now start by introduction. Here we are going to see about the pledge. As per section 172 of the Act of Indian Contract 1872, it defines pledge as the bailment of goods as a security for a payment of a debt or performance of a promise. Here, a pledge is often known as a special kind of bailment, and the basis of a distinction is the object of the contract. A pledge is also known as pawn, has been defined in Chapter 9 under Section 172 to 179 of the Indian Contract Act 1872. Here, the bailer is called as pledger or pawner, and the bailee is called as pledgee or pawnee. Now we are going to see the essential required for the pledge. Essential requirement like bailment of good place, bailment by way of security, security for a payment of a debt. Now first we see bailment of goods pledged. The goods capable of a constructive or actual delivery are the most important subject matter in a contract of a pledge. Any sort of goods, documents, and valuable things can be pledged. Shares can also be pledged by delivery of a share certificate. Other negotiable instruments can also be pledged. Second, bailment by way of security. Delivery of a goods by the pledger to the pledgee by way of security. To the return or disposed according to the instruction of the pledger is a pledge. Now security for payment of debt. Security will give example of farmer. When farmer has taken a loan from the any bank, letter and the goods are the security of repayment of a loan and interest. Goods like farm or his home, anything. The goods are delivered by pledger to pledgee as a farmer has taken loan from the letter and the goods are the security of the repayment of a loan and interest. Now we are going to see rights of pledger. As per section 173, right to retain goods, the pawnee has the right to retain the pledged goods till the time his loan is due. He can retain them for the interest of the debt and all expenses incurred in respect of such goods for their preservation. Second, section 174 says it is always presumed that the right to retain the pledged goods also extends to the money lent by the pledgee to the same pledger after the date of pledge, except in the case of contract contrary to such presumption. Now, section 175 says right to unordinary expenses. The pawnee has the right to get reimbursement of extraordinary expenses incurred by him for the preservation of good placed. He does not have a right to retain the goods but only to sue for recovering of the expense. Now, section 178A says right against true owner. When the pledger's title to the pledged goods is defective and the possession has been obtained under a viable contract but the contract is still in existence, the pledgee has a right to acquire good title to the pledged goods if he act in a good faith. Here we saw about pledger. Now we move on pledgee. Rights of pledgee. First, right to receive back the goods. Second, right to redemption of debt. right to maintenance and preservation of goods, right of ordinary debtor. Now we'll see first right to receive back the goods. The pawner has a right to receive the goods back once the promise has been performed or the loan and interest has been repaid. Second, right to redemption of a debt. When a specific time has been stipulated for performance of a promise or a repayment of debt, and the pawner does not perform such a promise or repay the debt at such time, the pawner has the right to redeem the pledged goods before their sale, but he shall pay any expenses arisen because of his fault. Next, right to maintenance and preservation of goods. The pledger has to right see that the pledgee is preserving or maintaining the pledged goods properly. Rights of ordinary debtor. The pawner also has a right similar to that of an ordinary debtor conferred on him by various laws made for protection of the debtors. Here we saw all the rights of pledgee and pledger. Now we'll see the duties of pledger and pledgee. A pledger must disclose to the pledgee any material force or extraordinary risk in the goods to which the pledgee may be exposed. A pledger is responsible to meet any extraordinary expenditure incurred by the pledgee for the preservation of the goods. Where the pledgee has exercised his rights of sale of goods, any shortfall has to be made good by the pledger. The pledger is liable for any loss caused to the pledgee because of defects in his pledger's title of the goods. Here we saw about the duties of the pledger and pledgee.